I was in the middle of doing a lot of things. I was making sure a job was done outside as we prepared for the new year. And I clean forgot that we were streaming and I was doing other things with my time. What's that? I'm out here working. So anyway, I see Coach Shelton Harris was up in the building for a second. He said the birds. That's funny. All right. So sorry about that, folks. I've been working. Um, people have a lot of things to do with their day, and then I couldn't forget what I was doing. Okay, so the topic is Canelo as a drug cheat. I even heard Gary Russell Jr. bring this up. Of course, Tony Bellew spoke about how Canelo was, he believes Canelo's cheating. That's how he's going up in weight. And I've heard that now. I've heard this claim claim a couple of times now, not only concerning Canelo, but other guys who've been jumping weight classes and doing it rather. But a lot of people jumping weight classes, but they're not doing it successfully, which means skill is involved, right? Let me talk to you for a brief. This is not going to be long. But if 10 minutes, it's a long time. And we're going to keep it real, keep it simple. What you need in the building, you guys can join the discussion. Let me say something. First of all, no matter how much you dope, if you don't have skills to pay the bills, it really doesn't matter. There are a lot of guys in boxing who have doped, and they still lost the fights that they were in. But having said that, this is a very important discussion. I remember having it with Tommy Temper, and there are several ways to get by drug testing. VADA is pretty stringent on how they test people, and Canelo is being tested by VADA year round. So he's got to have really good dope testing techniques, or somehow he's got favor with VADA, which is not going to happen. VADA don't have favor with nobody. So I really don't think that as of now, this is just my opinion. Somebody can persuade me otherwise. I do not think that Canelo has been dope testing, but I cannot put my head on a block for that. I certainly don't think that Floyd was dope testing either. I really think these guys are, uh, uh, they hold to the code, but you never know. I mean, you never know. Clenbuterol is something to get lean muscle, okay, losing weight. But I don't know. To me, Canelo looks like Floyd shape. He's ripped like Floyd. He seemed to have been patterning his whole career after Floyd's career. So I don't know. I don't know, man. He looks like the real deal. Like I said before, Canelo looks like the real deal to me. I'm not a guy who judges him based on his race, that he's a Mexican fighter. I don't judge him on whether he's racist or not. I don't know about all of that. All I know is when I see Canelo, I see a guy dedicated to boxing. Once upon a time, he wasn't as dedicated as he is now. That beating by Floyd, got him straight. Now, a lot of people do not like Canelo, especially some people in the in the LDBC. Oh my God, not LGBT, in the LDBC, and I understand why. Okay, they say he ducks fighters. They say he takes easy fights. This is what they say. This is the claims. He certainly did not face Demetrius Andre, and he certainly didn't face his mandatory Jamal Charlo. These are facts. Another fact. These are facts. Is that when Demetrius Andre left his title at 154, I don't know if he moved up to 160 or he was stripped. Uh, Canelo went on to face the other guy. All right, so these are facts. Jamel Charlo was promised, according to Jamel Charlo, he was promised by Golden Boy that he would sign on so that he could finally face up with Canelo. That opportunity never came. These are facts. Now, having said all of that, I must say that it's up to Canelo to face these guys. Canelo's going to continuously get flack for not facing these guys. It's sad, but it is what it is, because he constantly faces very good competition. You can't really fault him. The only guys you can fault him for are Rocky Fielding And he was moving up in weight, but still, Rocky Fielding, who the hell was he? And you can also fake, sort of. I mean, you don't have to, but you can really hold him accountable for facing Liam Smith because he could have faced Demetrius Andrew. Now, having said all of that, um, I'm going to tell him his critics and the naysayers that do not like him, they are going to have to. He's going to have to face Demetrius Andre to silence him. He's going to have to face Jamal Charlo to silence him. You know, it's just what it is. So they think he's ducking David Benavidez. I can't see how Canelo could be ducking David Benavidez. He didn't duck Gennady Golovkin. I don't think he's ducking David Benavidez. I don't think David Benavidez is ready, but if David Benavidez really want that smoke, throw him in there then. Throw him in there. Yo, when you gonna have guests on? Oh, streaming? I can't do that. I can't do that right now. I only got like 4 more minutes. Or less than 4 minutes. 3 minutes. But and I'm feeling kind of tired. But if you want me to stream, to have some people up on a panel and you guys can discuss this topic, we can do that sometime this afternoon. All right? I know it's afternoon already, but like somewhere around maybe 7, 8, maybe 8, 9. Okay, tonight we could talk more about it. But yeah, David Benavidez, okay, you say that's the threat. All right, put Canelo in with it. You know, I mean, have to go have a power nap, champ. Man, you go get your power nap, brother. Go get your power nap. Me, I can't sleep yet. I'm still in the middle of working, so I have to go back to work. But yeah, brother. I can't sleep yet. I'm in the middle of something. I came and I saw my phone. I saw my phone was just running. The stream was just going. And Coach Shelton Harris came in and he said, "The birds." And then he rolled out. That's funny as hell. So I was streaming for 45 minutes and I wasn't near my phone. I was doing a lot of things and I forgot that I was streaming. Yeah. I made you as a light heavy in my boxing game. What boxing game? Really? You got me in your boxing game? Yeah, I'm a light heavyweight right now. I'm 175. Exactly. 175. I'm very heavy. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, I mean, fight night round 3. I'm southpaw, right? You got me as a southpaw, right? Yeah. They're gonna make all kinds of claims. Canelo just fought a young in his prime champion who was supposedly the best light heavy, the best super middleweight in the division. He's laughing. He said, yeah. He's I'll make that change. Yeah, I'm 175. I'm a southpaw. Yeah. Yeah, he's the best super middleweight in the division. It's just what it is. And what they're gonna say now? He beat him like it was nothing, right? When you face more seasoned fighters, you have tougher fights because they are more tricky. The younger, less seasoned fighters. See, that's what people don't realize. Oh, he didn't face this guy in his prime. He didn't face that guy in his prime. Well, guess what? Canelo is facing prime fighters now and making them look like they, you can fight Dan the Man. It's like he's making them look like they nothing, right? He'd been doing this all along, walking down surgical, walking down edges, walking down triple G. Chavez, he'd be walking down fighters. So the thing about it is, now that he's fighting prime fighters, guess what? They don't have the experience. They don't have the experience, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And unlike Lomachenko, who's like, I don't want to say he's a one-trick pony, but he has his one way of doing things. Canelo has multiple ways of doing things, and he keeps on adding wrinkles to his game. This time, he attacked Callum Smith's shoulder. He deliberately disabled his shoulder. He took away his jab. He neutralized his jab by damaging his shoulder. That's some crazy stuff. Like, he keeps on adding wrinkles to his game. More and more wrinkles to his game. He's always coming with something different, something new. Have you guys not realized that? This guy always evolves. He's always evolving and doing something. And he's making the fights look easier. He's looking like Floyd Mayweather in there. He's making guys who are relatively very good fighters, he's making them look ordinary. And he's doing it off the front foot. He's crazy. You know. So, Canelo was talking about defense. Hit and not get hit. Defense wins you fights. People say Canelo's very, very strong. It's not so much he's strong, his defense is sound. When you got that kind of defense, you can do anything. That's what a lot of people don't understand. He worked on his defense as he worked on his offense. And now he's really good. Callum Smith said, man, I was surprised about his jab. His jab was very surprising. Yeah, of course. He got a very good jab. Callum Smith says, yeah, he's got wrinkles. He's got wrinkles to his game. So now I'm hearing allegations of doping. This is what they're going with next. I heard that for pound. You know why people go to doping? Because they really ain't got nothing else. His resume is ridiculous. Okay? People say, he had close fights with some guys. He had close fights with he had a close fight with Arislan Lara. Nobody's saying no. He had a close fight with him. He even had a close fight with Danny Jacobs, to be honest. Because Danny Jacobs pulled back as the fight went on. Danny Jacobs would be the most recent fighter that really actually gave him serious competition. Sergey Kovalev was, it was a close fight with Sergey Kovalev as well before he knocked him out. But Sergey Kovalev was losing the fight because, he was tiring. Callum Smith, we saw the pressure again, the same pressure that it was with Sergey Kovalev. Now people are saying, well, Callum Smith, you probably had a rehydration clause. There was no rehydration clause. Callum Smith's brother, Liam Smith, said Canelo messed up. There's no rehydration clause. He said that. So there was no rehydration clause like Sergey Kovalev. So that excuse is out the window, right? And why I'm saying these things is because people can't understand how he beating these guys so easy. But when you get in there, you will understand Demetrius Andrade. You do it like Callum Smith, he didn't do nothing. He was just trying to preserve himself. No, he wasn't trying to preserve himself. He's trying to be defensively responsible at the same time on offense. The problem, he couldn't get his offense off like he wanted to because he couldn't find the range. Now, hopefully, Demetrius Andrade does a little bit better. And I think Demetrius Andrade is just a little bit sharper than Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is more skilled than Demetrius Andrade. I have a lot of people say Danny Jacobs is just an athletic fighter. And don't you see how he rolls punches? Don't you see how Danny Jacobs rolls from the left to the right? Don't you see how he changes levels, how he switches up, how he can go from southpaw to orthodox? Come on, man. Danny Jacobs is skilled. I think he's more skilled than a lot of fighters. I know for sure he's more skilled than Demetrius Andrade in some respects. Demetrius Andrade is sharper, but these are all-around fighters. They can fight any terrain, inside, outside. Danny Jacobs can switch hit, all that shit, right? But Danny Jacobs, who's very skilled, and by the way, Canelo didn't land a whole bunch of shots on Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs landed less shots on Canelo, but, it was a very competitive fight down the stretch. Very competitive fight. And Danny Jacobs was not weight trained in that fight because he refused to do the same day weighing for the IBF. So he wasn't weight trained. But then afterwards, Danny Jacobs said, man, I need to move up in weight. I was like, wow, look at that. He's talking about moving up in weight. You understand? So Canelo had no advantage against Danny Jacobs. He still beat his ass. And Danny Jacobs is a slick, skilled boxer. I don't care what nobody says. He's slick and skilled. Much more skilled in terms of variety of skills than Jamal Charlo is. Jamal Charlo got a really good jab, has really nice pivot work, respects distance very well. When you're coming in, he knows how to pull that uppercut. He has good timing. He's very fast, quick, sharp, explosive. But uses some virtual distance and all of that. But But against Canelo, it's gonna be a whole different kettle of fish, man. A whole different kettle of fish. At defense, he's not gonna be able to penetrate that defense like he wants to. And Canelo rides shots. He does all kinds of things. So, I don't know, man. I'd love to see Jamal Charlo versus Canelo, but I think that's more of a Canelo fight. Jamal Charlo's style still favors Canelo, but Demetrius Andrews' style does not favor Canelo. He doesn't really have any advantages except experience, which will play a major key in that fight. If Caleb Plant was a little bit older and a little bit more experienced and went through the fire, I would say that he could handle Canelo because he's slick. But Canelo's tricky and slick. You know what I mean? And Billy Joe Saunders, who's talking up a talk, Billy Joe, you gotta go through the fire first, bro. You're not ready for Canelo. You talking a big game, but you're not ready for Canelo until you walk through the fire. You gotta go through the fire of Demetrius Andre. If you come out the other end successful, then you may have a chance against Canelo. Boo Boo, again, needs to go through the fire. He needs to face Billy Joe Saunders. Guys, you want Canelo to face somebody in Mexico or something in February. And you guys go face each other. And right after you're done facing each other, whoever comes out of that fight and prevails, that person should face Canelo because they're going through the gauntlet of fire. If they don't go through the gauntlet of fire, they're not going to be ready for Canelo because Canelo brings too much to the table. And once they get that heat and that pressure is put on them, they're going to get roasted. I don't care how much skill they got. They don't have the experience to deal with Canelo. Look how he was casually walking down Callum Smith. Casually. He wasn't even slipping inside. He was slipping, but slipping and sliding. He wasn't slipping and sliding, none of that. He just walking. He was just walking Callum Smith down. Casually walking him down. How is Boo Boo going to deal with Canelo's inside fight? Boo Boo can fight on the inside. I'm going to tell you the fight where Boo Boo fought on the inside. Hold on a second.